Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I've got for you today, this is a clip from CNN, and I want to break this down for you for two reasons. This is all about gun control and pushing it through manipulation in that narrative. But I want to show you the first thing. Extremely good manipulation. We've got to call it out and point it out so I can show you what they do to everybody on a day-to-day basis. And the second thing is I want to show you what they actually think around the gun purchases during the COVID pandemic. It was obviously an error in judgment. It was all your fault. You were tricked. You were manipulated. Everything is linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one because this is something you guys need to know. And if you are new or you're a returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure you turn that notification bell on. We need as many people as we can to get into the fold with us to pass the information along with the Second Amendment to the next generation. Thank you so much in advance for your consideration, and the content today is brought to you by Adams Arms. Now, Adams Arms is putting together some stuff on their Instagram page, which I think you need to check out. They want to make sure you have all the information on your freedom. The necessarily tube lengths, the gas pressures, all sorts of things that are pretty essential to your freedom. There's an Instagram link in the description box below. They want to make sure you are up on your freedom, as I mentioned. Make sure you give them a follow. Check out what they got over there, and thank you so much to Adams Arms for making this content possible. But now, brothers and sisters, we're going to go through 4 clips. It's actually one main clip, but I split it into 4 pieces. The reason that I did in this order, I want to show you exactly what they're doing to you on a day-to-day basis, and if you happen to never been manipulated before, this is a good example. Also, you can show people who are not aware of what they're doing. Check out the setup, and then we're going to get to the answer, because this stuff you need to see.
About a democracy then, Kelly, you're the general counsel, the legal counsel. Listen to what Ryan Bussey says, that amount of people, I think you said 85%, obviously including a lot of Republicans, thinks there need to be certain controls. How does, in a democracy, then a minority hold sway on something as big as this and as deadly as this?
All right, so the anchor is setting up a manipulation piece around the Second Amendment. I want to show you a few of the pieces that she set up. This Brady director of social racial justice, all these different buzzwords. We're going to get to that in a second. But there's a few things that I want to show you that set this up. And this is a big red flag. In our democracy, when 85% of even Republicans, moderating to even Republicans, want some sort of control, very vague control, very vague no descriptors, well, how does such a small minority control all the wishes and the desires of the general population? Now, of course, she's angling towards the filibuster in the Senate. She's angling towards the fact that it's a democracy, and so over 50% want gun control. So why don't we give it to them, even though it's not a pure democracy, as they like to say? But this entire thing was a big setup. It was a democracy is good, so why are you against it? 85% want to do this, but you're against it. And how does the minority, that little element over there, impact all of us in such a negative manner? Tremendous manipulative setup. But this next part, this is the big key, because the person that you're about to watch is from Brady United Against Gun Violence. This is the director of social and racial justice. This is the lead counsel. This person is very left, however, very intelligent. And that's why I wanted to show you this, because this individual, while I do not agree with the politics, while I do not agree with the gun control, is intelligent. Listen to how she manipulates this, because this is next level stuff.
Well, part of it just has to do, when you're talking about the federal level, some of it is just, it's a structural issue, right? And so you have the Senate where a small group can hold sway over what the majority wants. Similarly, you have issues around the way the courts are set up.
Did you catch that? It's a structural problem. It's not the idea that we're unconstitutional. It's not the idea that's infringed upon the Second Amendment. It's not the idea that the Supreme Court of the United States has continually said you can't do what you're doing. No. It's a structural issue. So in that one statement, she was able to say, you know what, the courts aren't really set up structurally correct. Pack the courts. You know, a minority in the Senate can really stop a lot of people, such a small group of people. She's minimizing the opposition while maximizing her own position and invalidating the structure of our entire political system. This was masterful Because what she's doing here is saying it's obvious that everyone wants this, but the problem is the structure. We should probably tear the structure down and rebuild it in my image. That's what's happening right now. She's going for packing the courts. She's going against the Senate minority, which is, by the way, 40 out of 100 senators have to basically hold a line +1. So you get 61 of these people, they get whatever they want. So 6/10 of the Senate population. And that's a small minority. That's a little bit less than half. It's a game. But now, this next one, same person does something powerful. Then I'm going to show you someone a little bit less intelligent who used to be a gun executive is now saying you're an idiot for embracing your gun rights because you were clearly tricked and manipulated. But let's get to this Brady director one more time.
So things are changing, but I think what we really need is that cultural change at the ground level where the everyday Americans who care, and they may say, I'm a Republican and I care. I'm a gun owner and I care. But as more and more of those people take that care and make it into action, then we can really push to overcome that small minority.
Okay. Did you catch that? So, of the people who care, I'm a Republican and I care. I'm a Democrat and I care. She's doing this angle of, if you don't agree with my gun control desires from Brady United or Giffords.org or Everytown for Gun Safety, you don't care. But even if you're a Republican and you care, we need to translate that care into action and get what I want. Therefore, you can show that you're caring. It's virtue signaling. It's requiring to virtue signal. It's the arrogance of the utmost level. I'm right, you're wrong. You don't agree with me, you don't care. But if you do agree with me, you do care. Even if you're a Republican, you can still care. And how do we turn that care into action? It's a manipulative game. And then it comes right back to the Senate minority. Then we can really motivate that minority to get out of the way through the filibuster. This right here is one of the most talented gun control pushes I've seen in a minute, because she plays on a lot of very vague things, a lot of very broad things, and then makes it personal. This is a very, very good manipulative approach. But let's look at someone who's honestly not quite as intelligent. This next part, all of this is in the same clip. This next part is from a gun control advocate who is a common sense gun owner, who's a hunter, so you build the bona fides, but is putting all the fear that the NRA is evil. Check this out. You can't make this.
Well, the truth is, and the NRA stumbled onto this 25 years ago, one of the most effective motivators for humans, both politically and in gun purchases, is the use of fear. And I don't think, the NRA has been exceptionally good at both creating and then stoking sort of irrational fears about things. In COVID, there were everybody had all kinds of fears. We didn't know what tomorrow was going to look like. Racial fears were stoked. We had George Floyd. We had Black Lives Matter. None of us are going to remember a more tumultuous time than in and around 2020. And as you mentioned, just in that 1 year, just in that 12 months, we had almost 23 million new guns sold in the United States. And so when fear is used as a singular sort of irrational motivator to purchase guns, you're going to have a bunch of ugly, dangerous spillover effects, because it's not a healthy, rational decision. And that's
It's not a healthy, rational decision. There's so much in this clip, and I know this video is running a little longer than normal, but we got to break this down. So in one step, I'm just going to walk through that really quickly. They've spent the last 2 years of the Biden presidency, the Democrats, the gun controllers, they've been telling you that the NRA is dead. It's a relic of a bygone era. Now is the time to push for gun control, until it stopped working, because it's not the NRA that stops them, it's you and me, the constituents. So until it stopped working, that was fine. But then it stopped working, and now we're back on that old drumbeat of the NRA is evil, and they've stroked the fears, and that's what made everyone purchase the firearms at unprecedented rates, including minorities and single women. Let's not bypass that. But it was the NRA that tricked them. And clearly, if you saw all that the tumult and all of that upset in our society, and your solution was to get a gun, well, you don't agree with me, so therefore it was irrational, it was stupid, there's ugly spillover, and really, it's a dumb decision. I'm smart, you're stupid, that's the theme. If you don't agree with me, if you think the Second Amendment is something that can support you, if you reach out for your own protection, because again, the thing they coincidentally didn't put in there was they defunded the police at the exact same time. If you don't think that my way is the way, then you're irrational and you're stupid. It's a really dumb decision. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.